This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview. Well, hello and welcome back, of course, to the Research Talks here from Stockbox with Alan Green. So, Alan, how has your week been this week?
It's been a good week, actually, Mark. I was up in London on Wednesday meeting some colleagues at the City Club, and a couple of guys came over from Ireland. So, very interesting talks there, and a couple of G&Ts to pass the afternoon, which was good. And I've also been overseeing. My mum is having solar panels fitted, so I was there with the contractors because my mum, as you know, is not very well at the moment. So. Bless her. I hope she recovers very soon. But anyway, it's been a week of travelling around, and I left here yesterday morning to go very early over to my mother's place, and we had a blizzard in Seaford. It was snowing. We had snow on the road, and it was incredible. And the further east I went, the better it got. But then it caught up with me later on in the day. So yeah, very very cold weather, but. It's a bit better today.
Well, it is chilly. It is chilly. It's definitely turning cold. But in terms of the markets, I do sort of saw a little bit more of a shimmer of light perhaps this week. A few stocks moving. I know we're going to talk about GGP today, but of course that started to move quite well just this week. Of course, Bitcoin is testing 100K, isn't it? It's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So it sort of seemed a bit more of a renewed interest generally.
Well, I think the Trump administration and also the appointments that we're seeing as well. I think Malcolm Palley mentioned in his interview with Stockbox, of course, that Trump had appointed the former Cantor
Fitzgerald,
Dana Fitzgerald, CEO, as the Treasury Secretary, who and of course the Cantor CEO is very au fait with crypto and tokenization and the entire Web3 dynamic. So that's really exciting. And I think off the back of that, we've seen Bitcoin rise because of course Bitcoin is it's the treasury cryptocurrency, isn't it? It's the default. That really sets the market.
Absolutely, it does. So I'm hoping we have a little bit of a run into the typical Santa rally, that run into the end of the year here. We'll have to see how it plays out, obviously. But there were, as I say, there were a few good movers. Also, ONDO InsurTech. I know we've covered them quite a lot, but I'm very pleased to see ONDO InsurTech now really starting to get some recognition there. And I must say, so I started a junior stocks and shares ISA for my son a few months ago. So I think it's useful to take the money that the government give you for your children and stick it into something that's going to yield hopefully a bit more than just sitting around wasting away. And he's actually performing better than me because he is not even one yet, and he's had his first one bagger. He's up 110%. So I've been doing this over 10 years, and I think I've had maybe two one baggers. So he's doing better than me. So I'm very pleased with that.
It's a funny thing, and I've heard this from so many people that if you're managing someone else's portfolio, I don't know whether it's a different set of dynamics behind the buying process and the selling process. I'm not sure, but I always seem to do better if I'm talking to other people and helping other people with their investments and portfolios. And then it comes to mine. I think, oh goodness me, what happened?
Yeah, exactly. I had the same thought. I thought I can't put it in high risk, miners, for example. But and ONDO is still a risk, obviously. But I just really like ONDO, as we've talked about before. And you're probably just less. You take a much more prudent approach, which, let's be honest, it's less exciting. Although 100% in a few months is pretty good, but
100% it's prudent and exciting. So
exactly.
There,
Yeah, and I think there's lots more to come from ONDO. They're only just getting started, as I'm sure you will tell us in the United States. But I really like that story. But go on, Alan, over to you.
Okay, so of course I interviewed Craig early this year as well on Stockbox, and I just really like this company. It's a marvelous invention. And of course, ONDO originally back in March 22 reversed into Spinnaker acquisitions, or shall I say Spinnaker acquisitions reversed into LeakBot Limited and became ONDO InsurTech. And ONDO, of course, is the Japanese, in Japanese it means temperature change. Now, the LeakBot device was an Internet of Things based claim prevention system. It can reduce water damage or cost of water damage claims by up to 70%. And the CEO, Craig Foster, of course, has formerly worked with Procter & Gamble and then HomeServe, and he actually developed the LeakBot system in HomeServe Labs, and then took it when he left the company. Since launching the business, Craig set the stall out in terms of what the company is going to do. It's an absolute slam dunk no brainer. If you're running an insurance company, your biggest costs are always going to be water damage claims, and the data clearly supported this. The amount of research information that had come through to the company prior to launch just showed that the average LeakBot application can save an insurer $140 of annual claims per installation, which is an incredible number. And of course, you've got that data, then you've got to go out and sell it into the marketplace, and that always takes time. But back in 2023, the company was signing up the likes in the UK of Admiral Insurance, Hiscox Insurance, rolling out in Denmark, and then of course signing with Portsmouth Water and others. Then of course Forstall Kringle, Sweden's largest non-life insurer, started to roll it out. And then really the benchmark came in the middle of the year when ONDO signed partnerships with US companies, and this of course is the big market for LeakBot. So initially signed a contract with WNS Holdings, listed on the NYSE, and through multiple household name insurers, and started this rollout. But of course, at each step of the way, there was a rollout, then there was a trial, that the data was analysed and reported back. And in every case, ONDO have just exceeded expectations. So we come to 2024, and we've seen a steady performance from the company across the year. So the company is spent really the large part of from May through to October trading around the 12 to 14p mark, and of course the stock had previously traded as high as 30p. 30p, that was the year high. And of course, that gives the company a market capitalization of 35 odd million. But we then come to the middle part of 2024. The full year results showed an increase in revenue, 30% higher at 2.7 million. Recurring revenues up 41% to 1.4 million. Customers increasing exponentially, and just lots and lots of growth. And also the company was raising money along the way to support its expansion as well. And then of course in September, contract with NFU Mutual in the USA, plan rolled out of 17,000 units by January next year. And then what's really triggered the big bounce in the share price from that average level is the announcement of the company that it was going to increase its production capacity in light of the surge in demand that it's seeing from LeakBot. And this is really driven by these massive US insurance companies that are so pivotal to the growth of the company. The company has announced it was going to make further capital investment into a second dedicated production line at its manufacturing partner, Asteelflash. And Asteelflash are based in Bedford, of course, and that increases the production capacity for LeakBot from 10,000 units per month to 40,000 units a month, and that's of course is a big jump. And then further driving the share price, of course, the announcement a week or so ago that Fortune 100 company Nationwide Mutual had announced that on the back of the initial pilot scheme, which yielded excellent results, and the director of US Nationwide Mutual commented that the results so far from their trial had been remarkable, open close quote. They're expanding they're rolling this out across 16 US states, which of course is a huge expansion. At the same time, an announcement from Indiana, Peril Protect was rolling out the LeakBot device to the Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Service, at least 10,000 further homes over the next 12 months. And of course, this surge in demand has triggered the investment into increased production, and who knows? It's very possible, given this rate of expansion, that we're going to see perhaps further investment into that production line to perhaps add a third production line. But that's just speculation. But given that in every single trial LeakBot has been part of, the results have been exceptional, if not remarkable. So it is absolutely a game changer for the insurance industry. If you're running an insurance company and you're having to pay out disproportionate amounts of money on water claims every year, you can't not use LeakBot. It's just an absolute slam dunk. So they've cornered the market. The company has really built the business well. It's built it from the ground up, and I think we're in for a very exciting couple of years for the company going forward. Look at the way that the share price has bounced back. It's come back from 40.5p, and that was at the end of October. Bounced all the way back up to 30p, so it's more than doubled in price. And I think that's just the start. We've got a valuation now of 35 million sterling. I think that's just the start. Once these other big US companies take it on, and then of course it's rolled further out, the sky really is the limit. So well done, Craig.
Well, yeah, indeed. No, absolutely. Well done, Craig. Yeah, as I say, he's been really building that nice and steady and slowly with solid partnerships, as you say, and getting a foot in the door in the United States, which has definitely happened now. And I can only think that we will expect to see far more. Well, basically that snowball effect and other insurers taking up the ONDO product there, just like they've done with the Ting product. It's effectively the same idea, but electrical arcs versus water leaks. So yeah, solid company, I think, and maybe I should take some profit at 100%, but I don't know. I actually feel this company could be around for a long time and be worth an awful lot more than it is. And you'll look back in years to come and thinking, I was involved in a real startup story here. That's gone on to be probably taken over by someone at that point. But really good story with ONDO. And I think next year will be really transformational for that company as they really start making waves in the United States.
Well, I think that they are still really scratching the surface in terms of the number of insurers that they could take this up, and that's where the excitement really is. And then of course I'm sure they're developing other products off the back of this as well. So branching out, perhaps diversification as well. But the growth story is incredible, and because it's so well proven now. Every single trial that LeakBot's been part of, it's exceeded expectations. And you're getting quotes from the directors who commissioned the trial saying results are remarkable. I mean, that just says all you need to know.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Alan. Let's talk about Greatland Gold then, another company that's been around for a while, and lots of big changes there, but getting into production fairly soon.
Yeah, Greatland have had quite an incredible year, really. I mean, it's been a long journey for them in a sense, but I think under the stewardship of Sean Day, the company, in a sense, has been reborn. It was reborn in September, of course. The company announced the acquisition of the Javier gold and copper project, and of course, it's acquired the remaining or the 70% that was owned by Newmont, and bought it into the company, consolidating the ownership of Javier on to 100%. So the company's got a substantial market capitalization, 650 million. Traded as high as 11.7p on the year, as low as just under 5p. Currently trading at 6.8p, and I think there are plenty of drivers to propel the share price much higher in the coming year. So, as part of this package, Greatland has agreed to the acquisition of the Javier and gold and copper project, as I said, and also the Telfer gold and copper mine. Now, Javier is approximately 45 kilometers east of Telfer, and of course, the mine decline and the entrance to the mine has been partly prepared. But also with this package come a number of interests and assets in the Paterson region. Of course, the Paterson region is well renowned, for being highly prospective for various minerals. It's polymetallic, but in particular, copper and gold are key to this. And of course, I think the drivers behind the recent rise in the share price, and we've seen the shares sort of jump up really since the 15th of November. We're now, it's come up from year lows just around 5p to 6.8p. The acquisition is expected to be completed literally in a couple of weeks, or December 2024. And through this process, there's the actual cash mix, if you like. We'll see the cost of the acquisition, which is $475 million, will consist of 105 million in cash, 155 million rather in cash. That's dollars. 52.5 million as part of the joint venture loan repayment. 167.5 million in Greatland Gold shares, and also a 100 million deferred contingency payments, and that'll be sort of still further down the road. As part of this agreement, they have tested the production facility at the Telfer mine, and it's passed with flying colours, so that's very important. And of course, the logic is pretty compelling. You've got the existing Telfer gold mine, which has all the infrastructure and processing plant, will be set up to receive the ore that's mined from Javier, and through the existing cash flow that Telfer already generates, its existing stockpiles, and also the mine extension opportunities are all going to generate free cash flow, which will further support and fast track the development of the Javier project. So very compelling logic, and of course, that the two mines operating together, could be absolutely huge on the world scene. So the existing mineral resource estimate for Javier is 8.4 million ounces of gold equivalent. There are significant extension opportunities at the mine, and as part of the funding process further down the road to accelerate that development, there's a debt funding consortium being put in place for a further 750 million Australian dollars, and that's a consortium which includes ANZ Bank, ING, and of course HSBC as well. So that everything is in place now to progress this. But also part of this, and really part of the blue sky potential. So if the fusion of Javier and Telfer together isn't exciting enough, the agreement brings in some 4,500 square kilometers of tenure across the Paterson region, and this will mean that this will include such prospects as the Chile prospect, the Teague prospect, London prospect, Bootstrap prospect, and Altanis as well. Will also be a key part of this. And in November, a week or so ago, the company announced some assay results from the Chile prospect, which included 37 meters at 0.2 grams per ton gold and 0.13% copper. So the numbers there are very good, and also some smaller samples yielded higher numbers too. So so as a package, if you like, as an investment package, the fusion of Javier and Telfer is hugely exciting. So the funds generated from Telfer, which is ongoing, substantially de-risks the package, if you like. Provides funding to fast track that development. There's the debt funding consortium package in place as well to further accelerate that. And then the real blue sky exploration opportunities, firstly from the extensions at Telfer and the extensions at Javieron, but also thirdly the extensions across the Patterson prospects, which I alluded to just now. These are, these the package together is very, it's extremely exciting. And I think if you take a look at on the Greatland Gold website, the most recent presentation from there gives you a really good insight into the potential across the two key assets, but also into the people that run it as well. And obviously, I mentioned Sean Day, but he's got a team below him and a board of directors too. So there's a huge group of people there, and of course all the management that are in place at Telfer as well. They've all basically signed over from Newmont to Greatland Gold and become employees of Greatland. So we're going to see, once this agreement is in place next month, I think we're going to see some really exciting developments in the months after that, certainly into early 2025 and beyond. And congratulations to Sean Day and his team for putting this together.
Yeah, indeed, and it's really good to see that company again. Still going, still making waves. I remember the years back in there when it was not even a discovery. Probably you do, Alan, as well. Back in,
yep,
I don't know, 14, 15, 16, around that era. And where's it come since then? Gosh, a long way. But yeah, I mean, to be able to take back ownership of it, raise the money in this tough market speaks volumes, I think, for the interest in that project and its value, really. So again, Greatland Gold, I think if investors want exposure to a gold miner, pretty safe at this point, gold miner that'll be around for a long time. You can't really go wrong with Greatland Gold. So, shall we finish off and talk about Coinsilium?
Indeed, yes, Coinsilium. So we mentioned at the start, Mark, about Trump's new administration, and of course the former Cantor chief executive, who is going to be board as Treasury Secretary, very up to speed, big fan of crypto and tokenization, and very important to have somebody like him in place who's got a deep understanding of the crypto markets, and of course the coin that underpins everything, which is of course Bitcoin, the original and the best. And Coinsilium have, I guess we can say that the share price has ebbed and flowed over the past few years, but the company is always an exciting prospect, and of course it's very much pegged to the price of Bitcoin, which as we speak is teetering on the edge of $100,000 a coin, which is quite an astonishing achievement. And although plenty of people were predicting it, I think a year ago, it's certainly got there, I think, a lot quicker than we expected. But I think it's the arrival of Trump and the new administration that have largely driven this. So Coinsilium, of course, made history in 2015 as the first blockchain IPO in London. Currently got a market cap of 9.7 million. They're traded on the Aquis exchanges under the Epic code COIN, and of course on the OTCQB exchanges with the Epic code CINGF. Price is currently trading at 4.45p, which is the year high, low of 1.35p. So as the company has evolved from that blockchain IPO, it's today it's an investor, advisor, and venture builder, very much at the forefront of what's referred to as the Web3 convergence. And of course, Web3 is the decentralized successor to Web2, and it's the foundation on which blockchain, AI and the metaverse are today, and of course will in future be transforming the digital landscape. So Coinsilium, the business model, it earns fees for providing advisory services in this sector, and Coinsilium will then either recycle those profits or the coins that it receives into Bitcoin, or it will use those coins to make new investments into some of the companies that it invests into. And I'm going to go through those now. So there are a series of investments across the Web3 spectrum. Black Paris, which is a lifestyle accessory and digital goods company. GGS, which is a platform that allows gamers to earn money while playing their favorite games. And of course, Greengage, which is their digital finance pioneer, providing and provides a platform of relationship-based e-money accounts. Then you've got Silta, which harnesses AI, revolutionizes feasibility studies and financing for green projects. And then Yellow, which is very much to the fore at present, and I'll explain why shortly. Yellow is building the next generation DeFi experience for exchanges, brokers, and traders. And it's a layer 3 peer-to-peer network that solves liquidity fragmentation and offers a truly decentralized trading infrastructure. There's also Unilayer, which is an interoperability platform, and it facilitates transfer of data and assets across all blockchains. Meta Yachts, luxury 3D yachts in the metaverse. Car Bonds, which is it's a French company, a simplified stock company which provides a digitalized carbon credit marketplace. Then back in the metaverse, you've got Vertical, which is the tallest metaverse in the world, celebrating digital art and culture and artists. And then, of course, Endorse, which Coinsilium have been involved with for many years, the Web3 development company that builds a suite of tools and applications for blockchain protocols. You've then got LC Light, which digitizes global trade receivables via a unique token-powered mechanism. And then Automata, which is a Web3 automation protocol streamlining system, which automates on-chain actions and responses within the blockchain ecosystem. So I think I've summarized those correctly, but that basically is the portfolio of assets owned by Coinsilium, from which it earns coins, which it either recycles into Bitcoin or it uses to make further investments. So that's how the company works. Now the Bitcoin boom, as we've already said, has been driven by this new Trump government. But in order to better understand the backdrop, the new Web3 ecosystem that we're all moving into, Coinsilium have produced and published a number of Web3 educational reports and strategic insights on their website, and I would urge listeners to go and look at that because they're very comprehensive, and also they break down into fairly simple terms, what is behind the infrastructure and also how these various companies make money through operating there. Now, bring everything bang up to date. The most recently, the company announced that it had signed an agreement with Stabiloot, which is the yield-generating stable coin venture to provide a number of sort of opportunities. And the stablecoin market, of course, is it means there is the coin offers stability by pegging it to the value of another asset, for example, a fiat currency or a commodity. So Coinsilium will undertake a strategic advisory role, and it's going to advise on tokenomics, partnerships, and expertise for Stabiloot's go-to-market strategy. And of course, Stabiloot's backed by Bitcoin and Ethereum. And it's already partnered with Yellow Capital. Remember, I mentioned Yellow as one of the companies in which Coinsilium has an interest, and also a company called Dextor. So we're going to see this coin rolled out shortly, and of course, Coinsilium will then be earning fees from that in coin format, which it can then either, as I say, recycle back into Bitcoin or use to make new investments. But I think, given that Bitcoin is pushing $100,000, once it breaks through that, we could see a new burst to the upside. And with Coinsilium's value very much pegged to that, I think there's considerably more upside on the horizon, particularly given that a couple of years ago, when Bitcoin had its last run, the share price, I think, peaked at about 30p.
Indeed, it did peak, didn't it? Quite a lot. And of course, it's just a bit of a play on, of course, the crypto space and the Bitcoin price and everything that's going on. And as you said at the start, where we're looking at Bitcoin nearing 100,000 now, Coinsilium is definitely set to benefit in a much better position than it was a few years ago a couple or 3 years ago on the last sort of crypto run. A lot more projects, a lot more access to those tokens there. And that's where Coinsilium's win comes from, really. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing again how this cycle in the current crypto up cycle, which I think Malcolm said could last sort of 6 months or so, 6 to 8 months. Coinsilium is set to benefit from it significantly. So thank you, Alan, for your time today. Have a good weekend, and let's speak again next week.
Thanks, Mark. You too.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like, or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.